What's going on, guys? Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to talk about the Swift bow. I know, just hearing about it probably makes a lot of your ears bleed. I'm sorry. But seriously, I wanted to take an honest look at it because it's got a terrible reputation in Vermintide 2. I mean, it's like one of the most hated weapons in the game, right? Elf's already kind of hated, but it's more of a meme, I think, like a memeable. Like people don't actually hate the elf, right? Of course they do. No, but for real, I wanted to kind of do a run heavily focused on using the Swift bow and determine for myself, like, does it really deserve the massive amount of hate that it gets? So, like I said, I used the Swift bow primarily on this run. I would bust out the sword and dagger every once in a while when I ran out of ammo, but for the most part, I used this weapon. And the first thing I noticed is that I really like the charge attack for the Swift bow. No lie. You have tremendous accuracy and movement at the same time while you're holding a charge attack, and you can hold it infinitely, which means you can run around and, as I ult Kruber in the back of the head right there, you can run around, you can chase down a special and you can shoot him. 1 or 2 shots and he's dead. I think that's cool. The charge attack is honestly, to me, that's what makes the Swift bow stand out from her other bows and other ranged weapons. Like, you have really good mobility. Excluding like the Hagbane, most ranged weapons you have to kind of stop and like zoom in and kind of aim, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the Swift bow has a little bit of mobility. It's almost kind of a speedrunner's weapon, which I think has its place in the game, certainly. As for the, it's technically called the light attacks, but I call them spam attacks because that's all people do with them is just spam them over and over. This is the part of the weapon where I think people don't like the spam attack, the light attack, because it's just not so good, It's not as good as the Hagbane would be for hordes. The Swift bow might be able to hit, like, even with the new cleave modifiers in the beta, might be able to hit 2 or 3 enemies in a straight line, but the Hagbane can take out 10, 15, 20 enemies in a little circle with 2 shots. I mean, how is the Swift bow to compete? That's kind of what I'm thinking. It's also, not as good as the longbow for specials or elites that are really far away, because it doesn't have zoom. It also doesn't do as much damage as the longbow. Another big thing about the light attacks, they're incredibly annoying. Let's just talk about the way they sound. The sound alone for the spam attack is so annoying to me. I hate it. I can't even be asked to be in a room with a Swift bow. It's like a thunk 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 thunk. It's disgusting to listen to. I don't even like it at all. Imagine you're halfway through a map, right? And you know what Vermintide 2 sounds like. It's got pretty good ambience. You have the sound of like hordes coming at you, the horn blows, you start attacking the horde, guts and blood and heads being decapitated, armor clinking, and then an elf joins and starts thunk 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 thunk. Is that not incredibly annoying? Does that not just like annoy you to death and ruin the atmosphere of what is otherwise a pretty nice experience? To me, it kind of does. I hate listening to it. There's also probably the more real and the bigger problem of the friendly fire. Yeah, this weapon does can do, especially if you're a spammer. You are. Can do a lot of friendly fire. It's really difficult to use this weapon in maps like Hunger in the Dark, Blood in the Darkness, Into the Nest, just to name a few, because they have lots of small, narrow, tight spaces. There's a reason I chose this map to kind of showcase the Swift bow here. It's wide open for the most part. It's got a lot of space, And I honestly tried my absolute hardest to not hit my team with this weapon, and I still did like 89 friendly fire, dude. Like, there's no way you will not hit your team with the Swift bow here. It's just built to be annoying. So here's what I propose. I kind of propose that the Swiftbow needs to get changed. Because, at least on Waystalker, why does it need to have 100 arrows? What is the absolute point of that? We've already established that the spam attack is inferior to the light attacks of the Hagbane for hordes and monsters. Because they do less damage. They're not as good. You've got more arrows, sure, but quality over quantity, right? I propose that the Swiftbow needs to get changed to something a little bit better. I think we should, Fat Shark should get rid of the light attacks altogether on the Swiftbow. So you only have the charge attacks. It could receive, some kind of a damage bonus, maybe even a cleave bonus, since you only have the one mode of attack. But you keep, obviously, the accuracy, the mobility, and maybe cut it down to like 40, 50 arrows. Wouldn't that be so much better? Because you would still be able to move around. You'd still be able to shoot, take out specials, elites. You could even use it on hordes. It would be, not amazing for hordes, but it would be all right. And you wouldn't be doing crazy, annoying friendly fire the whole time. That's kind of like I know it's a pipe dream, but it's kind of what I would really love to happen to the Swiftbow. Because right now, it's, what is the point of the spam? I don't see the point to have it when it's clearly inferior to the Hagbane. I don't know. It's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. That's kind of my thoughts on the matter. Does Swiftbow deserve the hate? If you're spamming, yeah, probably. But if you're a nice charge attacker and you don't hit your team too much, then probably not. The Swiftbow will do some damage. I mean, if you're gonna simply try to attack every kind of enemy, you're gonna do some damage. Obviously, you're gonna get the green circles, but I mean, at what cost? At what cost, gentlemen? So that's kind of my thoughts on the matter. Tell me what you think about Swiftbow. Do you like it? Do you hate it? What do you think of my ideas for maybe a change? I'm open to any and all suggestions. Thanks, guys. Take care.